be okay. I know that this is not a planned action. This is what I think. So I'm going to use will here because I know that it's not planned or there isn't any proof that it's going to be okay. So I'm not using going to here. The weather changed soon. The weather will change soon. The sentence is not based on a proof and it's not planned. So this is what I think. I'm using will. Third one, you never finished that book. Here, since I'm expressing what I think about the situation, I'm using will. Also, the thing that I need to see here is never. Since never has a negative meaning, I'm not again using my will as won't in my sentence. Who win tomorrow? So I'm asking somebody about their opinion or their idea. So this is what they think. When somebody expresses what they think about future, I'm using will. This is the weather forecast. It rain tomorrow morning. I see that in parentheses, I see that the sentence must be positive and I see the verb rain. So I'm going to use will instead of won't since it's an affirmative or positive sentence. And I'm also use rain in its first form. But it's negative snow. I know that the negative form of will is won't. So I'm using won't since it's negative. Also the verb in its first form. This is the weather forecast. It will rain in London tomorrow morning, but it won't snow. So we need to be careful about what's happening or what they give us in the parentheses. So here there is a question mark. Robots dominate the world. In questions with models, we use them at the beginning of the sentence. Will robots dominate the world or rule the world in 2050? Yes, I need to use the subject here. So when I take a look at the sentence, I know that I place the helping verb to the beginning of the subject. So I know that it's my subject. And since there is S here, we need to use they. Yes, they will, or no, they won't. He, in 5 years' time. There is a period here. He graduate in 5 years' time. There is a positive mark here. And also you've got the word. So I'm going to write will graduate. I'm sure the world a better place in the near future. Since it's positive, I'm using will. And since I'm using verb in its first form, I'm writing be. So I'm sure the world will be a better place in the near future. He a president soon. I see the negative sign here, so I'm going to write won't. And since we're using verb in its first form, I'm writing be. He won't be a president soon. I 15 next year. I see the positive sign and there is a period at the end, so I'll say I will be 15 next year. The weather sunny tomorrow. I see the negative sign, so I understand that I'm using won't and be in its first form. The weather won't be sunny tomorrow. I'm too tired. I think I to the party. Since I've got a negative expression, I'm using won't and verb in its first form. What would you like to drink? A Coke, please. Since I've got a positive sign here, I'll say I will have a Coke, please. Do you think John come? Do you think John will come to my party? Yes, he will. This is the short answer that we give with will future. I'm sure she be very happy in her new house. Since it's a positive sentence, we say she will be very happy in her new house. I hope he very hard for this exam. Here in the parentheses, I see positive, so I'm going to write will and study in its first form. So the result is, I hope he will study very hard for this exam. My homework, positive, I will do my homework. I promise I get home on time. I will get home on time. I tell anyone your secret. I won't tell anyone your secret. You, when I get home, positive, I will call you when I get home. Now, we've got question here. That's why I shouldn't place will here, since I'm taking will to the beginning in the questions. When will you, verb in its first form, arrive at London? Answer the questions. I call you tomorrow. I promise. Since I give a promise, I need to use will because I'm using it in positive form. I will call you tomorrow. I'm sure they married soon. This is my idea. I'm using will. I'm sure they will get married soon. Brenda not win the race. She isn't fast enough. Since negative form is expressed here, I'm using won't and verb in its first form. Brenda won't win the race. She isn't fast enough. You, me, with my homework, please. Again, I'm taking the helping verb to the beginning since I'm asking a question. Will you help me with my homework, please? Now, complete the sentences with will or going to. If you remember, we were using will for unplanned actions or our own ideas, and also going to with planned actions and actions with proof. So let's take a look. Look at those clouds. Oh, this is our proof. It's snow. That's why I'm using it is going to snow. I think he liked this book. Since I'm expressing my idea and since it's not a planned action, I'm using will. I think he will like this book. Thanks for lending me the money. I give it back to you on Friday. Here I'm making a promise. That's why I'm using will. I talked to my teacher about it today. I will talk to my teacher about it today because I know that it's not a planned action, it's just my idea. Don't worry, I tell anyone your secret. Again, I'm making a promise. That's why I'm using won't. We watched the Ajax match this weekend. I don't have a proof of a planned action, but I see that here I'm talking about we. So it's not my idea. We are planning this, so we are going to. I bake an apple cake, I promise. Again, when we see promise, we're going to use will. Sorry, I'm not free tomorrow. Visit my best friend. Since I'm saying that I'm not free, there is a proof. So I'm going to say that I'm going to visit my best friend. Buse be 17 next month. This is not an idea, and I see that it's a planned action, and with proof I cannot change her birthday, so I'm going to say Buse is, since it's a she, Buse is going to be 17 next month. I have a lot of tests next week, so I'm going to study in the library after school because I see the proof that I have a lot of tests. It probably rain tomorrow. Probably means that I think. So there is no proof. That's why I'm using will. It will probably rain tomorrow. I study medicine next year. My exam results are good enough. Since I see the proof at the end, I am using be going to in the sentence. Now let's take a look. Choose the best answer for the questions. My friends for dinner after work tomorrow. So I see that there is a planned action that I did with my friends. So I'll say I'm going to meet with my friends. 2. I haven't made any plans for Easter. I will probably stay at home because I see that I didn't make any plans. The phone is ringing, okay? I will answer it. Why? Because I decide at the time of speaking. 3. 4. For my exam on Sunday afternoon, I am going to revise my exam on Sunday afternoon because it's a planned action. This is what I plan to do. Also, I have an exam, so this is a proof. 5. To London tomorrow night. Since it's a planned action, since I cannot change that, I'm going to fly option. Home after this lesson. This is my personal decision, so I'm going home because it's my personal plan. 7. I'm going home. You tomorrow. Bye. Since I'm not using a planned action, since I'm talking about my own idea, I'm using I will see you tomorrow. What? At the weekend, since I want to know their personal plans, I'm using are you doing? What are you doing at the weekend? This is for an personal action. Can you lend me $500? You back on Friday. Here I see that somebody is making a promise. So I'm using will. Married before you're 30. Will you get? Are you getting? Do you think you will get or are you going to get? Since it's not a planned action, since I'm asking their idea, I'm using will. Do you think you will get married before you're 30? When your homework. So I'm asking about a plan, a personal plan. So I'm going to use when are you going to do your homework? I bought a tie. Do you think he will like it? Since I'm asking a personal opinion, I'm using will like. 13. Some tea when I'm finished the washing up. Am going to make or will make. Since I see that there is a plan here, I need to use be going to. 14. You'd better take your umbrella. It's later gap. They said it on the radio. Since I see the proof here, I'm going to use be going to. You'd better take your umbrella. It's going to rain later. They said it on the radio. 15. Your shoelaces are undone again, Harry. You and break your neck in a minute. Since I'm talking about a personal opinion, I'm using will. And the last page. I'm just going to the shop. I'll back in a minute. Since I'm making a promise, I'm using will. What time, Debbie and Mark? They said 7. Since I'm talking about Debbie and Mark, I understand that there is a planned action here. So I need to use be going to. What time are we going to meet Debbie and Mark? They said 7. 18. Anything this evening? We're having a party. Here, since I'm asking a personal plan, I need to use present continuous. Are you doing anything this evening? We're having a party. 19. Okay, I'm going home. You a call later. Since I decide at the time of speaking, I need to use will give. Can you give me a hand with this? Just a minute and I'll with you. Again here, we decide at the time of speaking. So we choose the option C will be. Do you think that job you applied for? Since I'm asking about what somebody thinks about something, I need to use will. Since I'm talking about their personal opinion. 22 and the last question. Paul and Melanie for a drink later. Do you want to come? Since I decide to do something, since it's my plan, it's a planned action, I need to use be going to. I'm going to meet Paul and Melanie for a drink later. Do you want to come? So everyone, this is the end of future tense exercises. Thanks for listening. Stay healthy and stay safe.